In this video, we will cover how to take a former tenant payment. You may take a former tenant payment when a tenant has vacated with a balance, but comes into the facility wishing to clear that balance. To take a former tenant payment, I'll go to Payment, Former Tenant Payment, and select the tenant. If I want to see the tenant's balance, I can click on Transactions, and I can see that this tenant vacated with a $300 balance. I can close the transaction history and go to Payment. When I go to Payment, I'll have various different options, including outstanding balance. I can select any of these options and apply an appropriate payment method. When I do so, going back into that tenant, into their transactions, we can see the remaining balance. The tenant can continue to make payments, correcting their delinquent balance, even though they have vacated. One thing to keep in mind is that if you try to take a former tenant payment for a tenant who vacated with zero balance, the QuikStor system will show you the zero balance in the transaction history, but if you do accidentally hit the payment button, the program will warn you that the former tenant's balance is $0 and they do not owe you any money, and will ask if you wish to take a payment. Since this tenant doesn't owe me money, I have no reason to take money from him, and so I'm going to go ahead and click No. This concludes the video on how to take a former tenant payment.